Hi boys and girls, hi readers. Our next book of the day is our next Bruce story and it's titled Hotel Bruce. And notice this is an author autographed book. It's written by Ryan T. Higgins. Bruce was a bear who lived with 4 geese. Reluctantly, and the picture and just the actions of the characters in Bruce help us figure out what reluctantly means. So, doesn't mean he just jumps up for joy and reaches out like he chose to be a parent to them, but he likes it anyway. They grew on him. But he was their mom, which meant every winter he migrated south with them. 141 to Miami. Welcome to Miami. Honk, 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 honk. A band playing. He would have preferred to hibernate. It kind of makes me think, too, he's not quite used to being around so many people, is he? Even though they are geese. They aren't other bears. I see alligators, crocodiles, and he's used to hibernating. I mean, he really loves his kids. Northbound. Migration and motherhood is hard work for a bear. It made Bruce tired and grumpy. That's why when Bruce came home one spring to find that mice had moved in and turned his house into a busy woodland hotel, he was not happy. Thank you for your business. Welcome to Northwoods Hotel, your home away from your home. Home away from home. Well, where did they come from? Look, that's funny, no pets. Fresh wallpaper. Please don't touch. Sincerely, the staff. Bruce was not happy. So boys and girls, this is a great spot to model what is a prediction. A prediction we decide from the clues in the story, but also, boys and girls, from our own minds and imaginations. Not just random predictions, but we use our own imagination. The author isn't just going to tell us what's going to happen next. They're going to show us. And the great part of reading is being able to, before we turn the page, is to discover these predictions. Our mind is constantly thinking ahead to what we think is going to happen next. And we're going to use the clues. So clues in a text help us decide and make up a prediction. Okay, we decide what we think is going to happen next. And I know we have read another Bruce story. So in Hotel Bruce, we come in with lots of clues, not just from this story, but across the author's stories. So writing down our prediction helps us continue to keep our mind engaged in the story, helps us understand our characters, as well as understand everything that's going on in the story. So a prediction would be, in my head, I'm saying, I predict that Bruce will drop them off someplace in the woods, just like he tried with the geese. So in our previous book, those eggs he was hoping to eat turned into gooselings. And those gooselings were calling him Mom and following him everywhere. So he tried to take them back. And he left them, but they kept coming back. So my prediction is he's going to try the same thing. Another thing I remember that Bruce tried in getting rid of the gooselings is he catapulted them. So maybe he'll do the same thing. I think maybe he will try to catapult them out of the house like he did the gooselings in the previous book. So we're going to continue to use clues. So let's find out what really does happen. Bruce was in no mood for rodents. Ah! He turned them out of the house and headed to bed. So what did he do? Did my prediction come true? I predicted he would drop them off somewhere. He chased them out of the house with a broom. It didn't come true, and that's okay. That's when the trouble started. Uh-oh. Not only did mice move in, but some other animals did. Well, that makes sense because it was a hotel, right? Oh, boy. Great time for another prediction. How do you think Bruce is going to react? Think about the clues. Think about what we've learned about Bruce so far in our other story and now. We know Bruce is a big old bear, right? But we also know he's kind of a big softy. He's got a really big heart. He acts tough, says he doesn't want that stuff, and sometimes he ends up taking in a family of gooselings. So I predict that Bruce will let the animals stay even if he wants them to go, because he has a big heart. So boys and girls, two things. Before I continue, I don't want to just read the words all the time. I don't want to just look at the pictures. In my mind, I want to juggle my thinking. I want to pay attention to what my head is thinking about the story. And one way we do that is we make predictions about what we think is going to happen next in the story, based on the clues we learn about our characters, our setting and our events. So what I predicted next is that, yeah, he's kind of grumbling. He's a grump. He wishes they weren't there and he chased the mice out. But look who else stayed and who he takes and migrates with every winter. So I still predict that with that big soft heart of his, he'll probably let these adorable animals stay. Let's find out what happens. It was a long night. He did. Oh, he's hilarious. He said, move on over. I'm going to get in too. Can I have a glass of water? Hey, you're hogging the sheets. I want to snuggle. I need to pee. My goodness, do you think he's going to get much sleep? I predict he doesn't get much sleep this evening or this nighttime. He has so many people keeping him up that they need his help. So I definitely think he loses a lot of sleep on that one. Oh boy, do you see a problem? I see a pretty big problem. Woo! The next morning, Bruce woke to the sounds of birds chirping. Doot, doot, and squirrels chattering and possums having a pillow fight. No way! That would be a mess to clean up. Yikes! Oh boy. Look at Bruce. Oh boy. He looks flustered. He looks tired. But look, the other animals got to sleep in. Great place, boys and girls, to stop, think, and predict. And that's how we use our think marks while we read. We notice something, we see something happening, and now we're going to predict of what we think is going to happen next. What are our characters going to do next? That next major event is what we're trying to predict. So I predict, I predict that Bruce is going to bear yell or do his roar to get everyone's attention. I predict that Bruce is going to bear yell and shut down the hotel, which actually is his house. So before I read on, I'm going to predict what I think is going to happen next. Then we read ahead to confirm if that prediction really does happen. If it does, we confirm that and say, yes, my prediction was right. If it wasn't, then we think about why. Or maybe the author was just trying to surprise you. So let's find out what Bruce does. Hopefully you have your own prediction going on in your head. Well, things only got worse. Oh boy, frog in the toilet. Look out, look out. He sat in a chair and got his butt poked. Oh boy. Took a shower and now look. That would be awful. I would not want to be sprayed by a skunk. And, oh boy, the beaver ate the table. Poor Bruce, his day in his world does just keep getting worse. The evidence supports that, doesn't it? How do you think Bruce is going to react? Let's predict. How do you think Bruce is going to react? I think Bruce is going to take a nap or even a vacation. Maybe he just needs to get out of there. Everything just keeps getting worse. Well, let's read on. Let's confirm my prediction. Let's confirm your prediction, readers. What are you saying? What do you think? Because I don't think your prediction will be exactly like mine. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't. So out loud to yourself right now, predict, I think Bruce is going to what? And I really wish you could share with me and be in my discussion with me. That's why it's so important that you are adding responses to Padlet so we can continue to share our predictions back and forth together. Well, this was happening. Ha 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 ha. It's a bath. These veggies and spices, they're good for your shells. And this is a great spot, boys and girls, for a notice. A notice because using our schema, we kind of know something about foxes, don't we? Oh, they're tricksters. So they try to trick. And so this would be Ryan T. Higgins' humor coming out in his illustrations and telling his story. And man, it connects well. Look at these turtles. Look at their faces. They're like, well, maybe. And it's like working. This little trickster of a chef. Let's see. Do you think the turtles are going to listen? So predict that. Do you think the fox is going to be able to talk them into getting their shells cleaned out, taken care of, strengthened, made more healthy? Or is he going to actually be able to eat the turtles for a meal? Or maybe Bruce will help them. I don't know. But what do you think? What do you think's going to happen to the turtles? And what's Bruce going to do next? I think Bruce. So your two starters the whole time in your head that you're saying to yourself is I think and I predict. I think and I predict. So let's see if our predictions were right. Let's see what happens next. Thank you for choosing the Northwoods Hotel. We hope you enjoyed your stay. Our bellhops will see to your luggage. Huh, where'd they come from? How'd they get back in there? So notice all the juggling of reading too. We've done a lot of noticing, a lot of wondering. We've been kind of entertained with some humor by the author. And now Bruce is being told, bye-bye, see you later. Thanks for coming. Because in our schema, we know when we're at a hotel, we're at a place or even a store, we have a greeter. And so the bellhops are greeting, but also saying goodbye. Like, thank you for coming and come again. Well, what? Why is that happening in Bruce's own house? Oh boy. Now Bruce is frustrated. Bruce growled. Bruce grumbled. Bruce asked to speak with a manager. I did not predict that. That's pretty funny. That's what I love about Ryan T. Higgins is that we can make these general predictions, but they don't always come true because he puts a twist on those predictions and they become a little bit funny. I mean, we would expect Bruce being a bear that he would do a bear thing, a bear reaction, but he did a human reaction. So if we go to a restaurant or we go to a store or hotel, we're not happy about something, we ask for the manager. So all my predictions up till now, maybe I need to start tweaking, thinking differently about my predictions. Because Ryan T. Higgins doesn't just present Bruce as a bear, including the mice are not just mice and the geese are not just geese. They have human qualities, which means they can think like a human and act like a human. And so Bruce did. Ryan T. Higgins got me. That I should have been thinking more of, well, okay, from the point of view of a human, if there's trouble, I'm going to ask for a manager. That's so silly. The mice went into another room for a moment. Employees only. And this one's funny. I'm not tipping you. That kind of cracks me up because who are these? These are his family. But they're working. It's like, no, I'm not tipping you. Again, see another human-like idea that's attached to Bruce. Because when we are places like this, we do tip. We do tip those people that are helping take care of us or to serve us. And that's funny. Two mice came back wearing ties. I'm the manager. I have a tie. No, I'm the manager. My tie has stripes. They took my ties. So which one, boys and girls, do you think will become the manager or should become the manager? I'm not too sure. And I'm excited to read you a future story because now Ryan T. Higgins has introduced us to new characters. He's brought in new characters into his series, and they show in some future books of his. I love it. But as they were deciding who was the manager, they were interrupted by a commotion. Run for your lives! The turtle soup has gone bad! Ah! Look at them. They're like, what? What? But wow, boys and girls, what a twist, readers. Ryan T. Higgins has done it again. So this is the moment where we find out the answer to our prediction earlier of what the fox was going to do with those turtles. Like, were the turtles really going to be eaten? And look, oh no, he's like running away. So that didn't happen. So my prediction did not turn out in the way that it was supposed to. Ryan T. Higgins kind of keeps the suspense going and keeps the predictions going, because now I'm like, wait, what? There's smoke coming out of the kitchen? No way, and the fox is running? The fox is the predator. The fox is the tough one. Why is he running in fear? But again, human-like qualities of our characters. So now what? Why? What can we predict here, boys and girls? What's going on in the kitchen? What's going on? So making a prediction here in my head, I need to stop, pause, and think. Stop, think. Then jot. I think the pan boiled over and is causing a flame on top of the stove. So I think, or I predict, that Fox maybe got distracted. And because he got distracted, this pan of water boiled over. I think the pan of water boiled over and is now causing a flame on top of the stove, possibly spreading because there's lots of smoke. Well, what do you think, boys and girls? What do you predict happened? And why does this make sense? Because I've cooked on a stove before, and I do remember that pan had liquid in it. And if you're boiling it and it does flow over, it could cause a smelling mess all over, and sometimes can produce smoke like this. Not quite that much, which tells me the problem probably is also even bigger. So let's read on and find out what does really happen. What is going on? What caused this? Oh my goodness, no. Who would have predicted that the turtles were actually the ones standing up and fighting against the fox? And look, they're winning. That is another Ryan T. Higgins twist. This is why we predict. Because we don't always just make a typical prediction, what everyone else would think. Ryan T. Higgins wants to keep our imaginations alive and alert, that predictions can be different. They can be something that we're trying to search out and create in our minds. And look, he surprised us. This turns out to be the opposite than what we would expect. I love it. That's why I love his writing so much. He's always making us think. Well, the kitchen, it was a disaster. And the turtles had taken his best silverware. Oh, another great example that Ryan T. Higgins isn't just writing about a grumpy bear. He's writing about a bear that has human-like qualities. We already know that Bruce loves the kitchen, that he loves to cook. And so it makes sense that he would have top-of-the-line silverware or his favorite silverware. And that's bummer. That's disappointment. Those darn turtles. And now you can see all these looks of shock, oh no, worry, disappointment. Wow, those turtles really did make a mess, didn't they? Who would have thought turtles could make such messes? They can in any story, right? Because that is the author's imagination. Roar! Bruce started to lose control. I'm sorry, I can't understand your accent. Maybe we should hire a translator. Huh. They're so goofy. They're funny. They needed an instructor and somebody who help him understand his language. They're like, huh? What? Why losing your cool, man? It's all right. The geese stepped in to smooth things over. Oh, he's with you. Oh, yeah. Oh boy, our bad. And the mice understood. Understood what? What did they really understand? Let's make a prediction. I predict or I think the mice realized Bruce is a guest and they still need to figure out that Bruce is their mom. So there's kind of two angles or two parts to that. So I think they understand that Bruce is with them. I'm not sure quite yet if they understand how Bruce is with them. Like, this is my family member. This is my parent. So I think something big or bigger is going to happen to help them work better with Bruce. So I think something big is going to happen where this can be made a win-win. So let's see. Let's see what happens. What? They understood, sort of. Oh my goodness, Ryan T. Higgins, he is such a funny guy. The mice put him to work. Is that understanding that it's Bruce's house? That he's the one in charge? It doesn't. But it does confirm that one of the thoughts and predictions of Bruce of his big heart. This does show he's kind of a big teddy bear. He kind of gives those animals their way, doesn't he? Just when it couldn't get any worse. What? What do you mean? Just when it couldn't get any worse. What do you think's going to happen next? I don't know. Boys and girls, we're going to stop for today. We're going to stop, think, and predict. How do you think the story's going to end? What do you think is going to happen on the next pages? I'd like you to go on to Seesaw and click your Padlet. And please predict and tell me, what do you think is going to happen next? What does this mean? Just when it couldn't get any worse, what? What's going to happen? Add your prediction, boys and girls. Just like I modeled for you, make sure that they're a sentence, a complete thought. Okay, and in your prediction all day today, I started with I think, or I predict, and we need to make sure we say why. I predict this because, or I think this because. Good luck with your predictions, readers. We'll finish our journey with Bruce and the mice and the geese tomorrow.